Hello and welcome back on History Edulearn. Today, let us study a new lesson from 8th Standard Political Science, Judiciary. Judiciary is nothing but the court system in India. So, how is the court system and how it resolves the disputes arised in the country, and what is the system in overall is what we are going to study in this particular lesson. Last time in Constitution, we studied about the 5 important principles that federalism, parliamentary form of government, separation of powers, fundamental rights and secularism. Federalism is nothing but the dual set of government wherein because of linguistic and regional factor diversity of India, the maker of Indian Constitution felt the need of federal form of government, and that is one at the state level and another at the central level. In the parliamentary form of government that is been adopted by India, second feature. Third, separation of power, that is the powers in India are separated in 3 institutions, that is legislative, executive and judiciary. Judiciary is said to be the most important institution in the country because it The fourth factor is fundamental rights. We are enshrined 6 fundamental rights. And the 6th one is secularism, wherein all the religions in a country are treated equally. There is no institute which is also an autonomous body. Judiciary plays crucial role in Indian democracy. If there is no judiciary, then probably there may be a rule of jungle. You know what is rule of jungle? The theory of might is right is applicable in the jungles. The animal which is most powerful acts as a king, and others have to adjust as per the mercy of the mighty animal. After India's independence, Indian Constitution made a provision for liberty, equality and fraternity for every citizen. Judiciary is supreme in India. It is rule of laws or the supremacy of laws. State functions as per the laws. Judiciary functions to resolve the disputes between individual institutions, state, man-state or the central government. All the values prescribed by the Constitution need to be protected under the judiciary, that is to ensure the rule of law. Here, law is superior and not the lawmakers. For that, it consists of a mechanism called courts. Every citizen can approach the court for justice. If law is encroached by legislative or executive, then judiciary will come to rescue or protect. Judiciary is autonomous body and play crucial role in Indian democracy. Thus, the law is said to be the king of kings. There is one more saying, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Example, monarchy, dictatorship and others. Judiciary protect Constitution, hoping it shall not go into the hands of centralized power. In a democratic country like India, it is most important to safeguard the interest of every individual. Since judiciary is such an autonomous institution and which is the most powerful institution in the country that safeguards the interest of every individual. So, in this lesson, we will see in detail how judiciary functions and how it safeguards the interest of an individual, society and the whole country. So, what we will be studying, let's see first. What will we learn in this lesson? 1. Role of judiciary. 2. Independence of judiciary. 3. Structure of courts. 4. Different branches. And 5. Everyone have access to courts, under which PIL, public interest litigation, and one case study of Olga Telis versus Bombay Municipality. In simple words, judiciary is nothing but the court system in India. The laws are supreme, or there is a supremacy of laws. First is role of judiciary. As we discussed earlier, the main function of the judiciary is to resolve the disputes. Now these disputes between whom? The disputes between two parties. Now which are these parties? Parties meaning it can be a case or the dispute between an individual with another individual. For example, it may be with if it is a property dispute between two brothers, brother A and brother B, so that can be one of the case. So this issue or the dispute will be solved by the court. With this, one individual and group of individuals, or against one individual versus the state, or a state against the state, or one state against many states, or one state against the central government, or many states against the central government. These are the different parties which expect the justice from the court, and the courts resolve this problem. So this is dispute resolution. Second role of the judiciary is judicial review. No law shall go against the constitution. All the laws are framed within the framework of the constitution, and no law shall supersede it. It is the power of the Supreme Court to examine the constitutionality of laws and action. Whatever the laws and actions taken by the judiciary are within the framework of the constitution, and that is called to examine the constitutionality of the laws and actions. So that is judicial review. Third role of judiciary is uphold the law and enforce fundamental rights. Here let us study one case study of Paschim Bengal Khet Majdoor Samiti versus the state of Bengal in 1996. Hakim Sheikh, who was a farmer who was traveling by train, and he met with an accident. He was seriously wounded. He was not in a condition to be admitted in the private hospitals, since he went to government hospitals wherein he could not get the proper treatment, and for that matter he took a long period for recovery. To get the proper health facility and health treatment is the function of the state government. He filed a petition against the state government for not giving proper health care facilities to him. The case was put up in the court, and court also realized that yes, it is the duty of the state to give proper medicinal facilities, health facilities to Hakim Sheikh or every citizen, and accordingly the court instructed the state government to pay him compensation. So this way the fundamental right, that is health, comes under Article 21, that is a right to life. So the court instructed the state government to pay him compensation. This way the fundamental right is enforced and law is upheld. This proves that we are safeguarded by the rule of laws. That's why laws are said to be the king of kings. Now let's see, is Indian judiciary an independent one? Yes, Indian judiciary is really an independent one. Okay, there is some of the appointments of the Chief Justice and judges are made by the President in consultation with the Cabinet, but it is a very least interference of the politicians in the judiciary. But maximum judiciary functions without interference of the politics. In some cases, sometimes the judiciary is superseded by politicians. There are some examples. For example, during an emergency in India in 1975-76, one of the judge who helped Indira Gandhi, then Prime Minister, in nationalization of banks, who was favorite of the Prime Minister, and she promoted him as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. But there were two more judges who were senior to that person. When this was brought to notice, the person, with the help of favorism, was shifted to the Chief Justice post, was brought back. So this example tells us that the legislature or executive interference is very rare and least, and if it happens, it's try to supersede the judiciary, then the judiciary can use its own power. That's why we say judiciary is an independent body. Now let's see structure of Indian judiciary. It is a 3-tier system wherein at the apex part is the Supreme Court, second tier is High Court, and third are the Session Courts. Now, Supreme Court is said to be the apex court of India, which is the highest court of law, which is situated at New Delhi, and below Supreme Court are the courts called High Courts, which are located at different states of the country. There are right now 25 High Courts functioning all over the country. And below this High Court are the Session Courts or the lower courts. Next, let's study the working functioning of Indian Constitution through an example of one case that had happened in Delhi about the Lakshman Kumar and his family versus the state of Delhi administration year 1985. State of Delhi versus Lakshman Kumar and other 1985. Lakshman Kumar married to a lady Sudha Goyal. She was found burned in kitchen. Case filed on Lakshman Kumar and his family. Lower court, on the basis of fact study, understood dispute, examine, cross-examine witnesses and evidences. Court gave final verdict on Goyal's side and ordered to send Lakshman Kumar, his mother and brother Subhash Chandra to jail. After this case, Lakshman Kumar and his family not remain quiet and they appeal to the High Court. All law points, evidences were rechecked and said it might be accident. They got benefit of doubt. Court acquit, meaning left Lakshman Kumar and family. Goyal party, after listening to this hearing, they further appeal to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court again saw the law points. They did not gone through the full case, but they saw the important law point and came to the conclusion that case don't look like accident. It's a murder. Lakshman Kumar and a family made convict, sent to jail, but brother Subhash Chandra was released. This is an example showing all courts work independently and the justice is expected to every person. Indian judiciary have two branches of legal system. They are civil laws and criminal laws. So what are these civil and criminal laws? Let's understand. Criminal and civil laws. Under criminal, it deals with the act or the offences like that of the murder, theft and others. In civil, it deals with harm, injury to right of individual like family matter, divorce, land, disputes and others. In criminal cases, the case begins with FIR or complaint. If provided convict, then he is sent to jail or fine or both jail and fine. In civil matters, the petition is filed in relevant court. The relief is given to one who owns the case. Who have access to the court in India? In fact, everyone have access to the court. For that, there is an easy and fast litigation called public interest litigation. These three words looks little unfamiliar, but they are self-explanatory. That is, public can file a suit or a case, and that can be initiated by public member for the benefit of public. Can be done against anyone that causes inconvenience to the public. This is a easy access to justice. Example, the case can be or the petition can be filed against the increase in level of pollution, public work, the quality of public work, environment, and other things. Here is one case study of Olga Teles versus Bombay Municipal Corporation. This is an example of right to livelihood under Article 21A. BMC, that is Bombay Municipal Corporation, removed a slum from its area. Due to that, the people living over here, they lost the earning. Since the people filed PIL, P-I-L, public interest litigation, under Article 21 says each individual has right to better life. Bombay Municipal Corporation can't take away their source of earning. If doing so, then people must be rehabilitated. This was the verdict favored slum people, and they got the justice. To summarize the judiciary, we can say if the encroachment is even done by the legislature or executive, then the judiciary will come for the help and rescue an individual or a group of individual from any discrimination or injustice. So judiciary is said to be the most supreme in India, and it is functioning without any interference of any of the politics or legislature. Here, every citizen have a right to go to the courts and get the justice. So that is what the best feature of the judiciary. Hope you all have understood the lesson judiciary properly. For any query or the doubt, feel free to ask it in the comment box. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next class. Bye.